We are going on a pretty special trip. It's part vacation, but part education. We booked this trip last July when we decided we were going to speed up our retirement plan and get started on learning how to sail. We have a Leopard 45 catamaran on order, and we're taking possession of it at the end of August. Between now and then, we need to get as much experience in as possible so we can be somewhat prepared for handling our own boat. This week is the crash course. We'll learn to sail, anchor, moor, and dock a boat about the same size as what we're getting, and we'll be doing it in the beautiful but tricky waters of Belize. There's a lot to do between now and the end of August, so let's get started.
'Cause even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, and even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony.
We got to the marina in the afternoon and we were quickly off the dock. Our captain Danny stuck me on the helm right away. I'm getting my ASA 114 class completed on this trip. It's a catamaran certification that I think will help once we get our own boat. As soon as we cleared the marina, it was amazing. Months of thinking and planning and laying the groundwork for what we want to do. It all just kind of came together. We got the sails up, settled back, and headed out towards the barrier reef. We sailed till sunset, anchored, ate an amazing meal, and then we crashed early. We had a really great sunrise the next morning, and Danny took us to an awesome snorkeling spot. He drove us in here, but I had to back this thing out, which was fun but slightly terrifying. After snorkeling, we went outside the reef for a sail south, and the water was just incredible. We're sailing!
I'm sailing!
After a while, we cut back into the reef at Tobacco Key. This was my first time anchoring, and it went okay, but the way the wind pushes these catamarans is just wild. So keeping things smooth will take a lot of practice. This night we went to Thatch Key for the Super Bowl, and I took a nap. The next morning we stopped by Man o' War Key, which is a bird sanctuary covered with frigate birds and some brown-footed boobies. This is the point in the trip where I started to relax a little bit and really enjoy the sailing. sailed all the way to Ranguana Key. It's a really tiny island perched on the barrier reef. We stayed here overnight 8 years ago on a family vacation, and our kids just had a ball, so we decided we should come back for a visit. Next morning, we started to make our way to Placencia. I had a business call I just couldn't miss, but we managed to get some more fish along the way. Got pretty excited about the back of the deck sushi. Along the way, we stopped off at Laughing Bird Key, which is a nature preserve about halfway to Placencia from Ranguana. The sea life was amazing here. There are tons of monstrous lobster. In Placencia, we docked, I took my conference call, and then we went back to the boat and ate dinner and went to sleep. The next day we went to Hideaway Key. This place was amazing. We could have spent multiple days here. We anchored, took a quick dinghy ride, and we drift snorkeled this. It was just incredible. After snorkeling, we went over to Hideaway Key for a quick drink before dinner, then went back to the boat and ate some of the fresh fish that we had caught. We then took part in an epic battle of dominoes, which I think I won, and Patrick took the best unintentional selfie of the trip. The next morning, we went back over to Hideaway for breakfast and got a tour with Dustin, the guy who built all of this, with his wife Kim and their daughter Alma. It's all built on top of the mangroves, and the water flows through the island. It was such a very cool place. We could have spent several days here, like I said, but we had to move on to this. I don't even remember exactly where on the reef this was, but it was just incredible. After snorkeling, we went outside the reef to head north and make better time. It was kind of rough, and the camera doesn't do it justice, but after a couple of hours, we decided to pull back inside the reef for calmer waters. Once we cut back inside the reef, we were all looking in the same direction, and we saw this. It was majestic, and Patrick caught it on film. Inside the reef, we had great wind, and we got up to 9 knots along the way to Goff's Key. We stopped here and ate lunch and just hung out for a bit. part of the lessons that I was dreading the most, docking. I'm supposed to steer this 30,000-pound vehicle up to a dock with wind and get it just right and not destroy it. It was not pretty, but I managed to get it docked. Starfish Island was built for the cruise lines. They come in and people would go on excursions here to swim and have drinks and play. It hasn't been used in a year. Since COVID happened, no cruise ships are coming, no people are coming, and it was really kind of weird to see this place fall into disrepair in such a short amount of time. We got one last sunset in and went to sleep. We had to get up pretty early the next morning. We had to get to the dock, take a COVID test, get to the airport, and fly back to an impending blizzard in Texas. The trip was just perfect for us. It gave us the confidence that we need to sail our own boat. I ended up passing my test. I ended up docking several more times. And overall, I feel comfortable on a boat this size. So that's it. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and we'll be back in a couple of months when we take a trip to Eleuthera.